focused on my my 4-year-old son and 2-year-old daughter at home. They thought I was pretty good, so it's a lot easier going against them than you guys. So. The story I have is called The Great Ball Game by Joseph Ruchet, and he's a Native American storyteller. I guess the reason why I chose it was because the Native Americans invented the game of lacrosse, and the reason why they did that was they used it to settle arguments. So this story kind of ties in with that. Before I start, I was wondering if anybody can tell me the reason why birds fly south for half the year, mainly in the wintertime.
The ground freezes over, so they can get food.
Say it again.
The ground freezes over, so it's hard to get food.
Okay. Anybody else?
I give you the book.
Okay. Another question would be, does anybody know why bats come out at nighttime? This one might be a little easier. Okay, very good.
They get those vibrations. Oh.
So the story goes, a long time ago, there was a great debate between the birds and the animals. And Crane, speaking for the birds, says, "We who have wings are better than you." And Bear, speaking for the animals, says, "No, no, no, that's not true at all. We who have teeth, we are better." So it sparks this whole big debate that goes on and on for a really long time, to the point where they thought that there was going to be a war. Until finally, Bear and Crane agree that they should come up with a plan. So Crane says, to settle this argument, let's have a ball game, and the team that scores the first goal will win the game and win the argument. And Bear says, that's a great idea. And to add to that, the loser gets to serve a penalty that the winning team decides. And they both think it's a great idea. So they gather up all the animals and the birds, and they walk and fly to the field where they're going to play the game. And the animals start dividing up into teams, and the birds start dividing up onto their team. And it is decided that the animals with wings will be on one team, the birds, and the ones with wings will be on one team, and they're the birds, and the ones with teeth will be on the other team, and they are the animals. So as the animals and the birds are dividing into their teams, there's this one creature that has a hard time deciding which team he should be on, and that is Bat. Can anybody guess why Bat had a hard time deciding which team to be on? Say it again. Exactly. Bat has a problem. He has wings and teeth. So this caused a big concern. He was very confused. He didn't know what to do. So he goes up to Bear first, and he asks Bear. He says, "Bear, I'm going to be on your team with the animals because I have teeth." And he smiles. And Bear says, "No, no, no, that wouldn't be fair. You have wings. You must be a bird. You play with the birds." So Bat flies over to where the birds are warming up, getting ready for the big game. And Bat says to Crane, he says, "Crane, I'm going to play with you guys, the birds, because I have wings." And Crane laughs, makes fun of him, and says, "No way, you can't play with us. You have teeth and you're too small to be a bird. Now go back and play with the animals." So Bat walks back, sulking his way over to where Bear is, and says, "Bear, the birds are making fun of me, they won't let me play. Can I please play on your team?" Bear takes pity on poor Bat and says, "Okay, sometimes even the smallest can be helpful, but you must promise that you have to stay off to the side and let the bigger animals play first." And Bat says, "Okay, that's great, I can do that." So the game, well, actually, before they start the game, they set up goals on either end of the field, and they start playing the game, and both teams are playing very well, very hard, working hard, having fun, but the game is going on for a very long time. On the animals, you have deer and fox, who are very swift runners. And you have bear, who is great at pushing people out of the way. Likewise, on the birds team, you have crane and hawk, who are even swifter than the deer and fox, because they can swoop in and steal the ball and fly off. And they can go to where the animals can't get them. So the game goes on, and they're going back and forth. The good thing is that the animals can defend their goal really well, okay, so that the birds can't score. The game is going on all day long, that it starts to get dark. And now the animals and the birds are having a hard time seeing where they're going. Just as the sun goes down, bear is about to go and score a goal when he trips and falls because he can't see. And as a result, crane swoops in, takes the ball, and is about to score on the goal to win the game. When all of a sudden, out of nowhere, actually from the sidelines, comes a small black creature. Anybody know who? It is Bat. Out of nowhere, he swoops in and steals the ball from Crane. None of the animals or the birds can see, and Bat zigzags down the field through all of the birds and scores the goal, the first goal to win the game. So Bat turns around and everybody's cheering, and Bat gets to decide what the penalty is for the birds. So Bat says, since you lost the game, you birds must leave this area for at least half of the year. So that is why the birds fly south in the wintertime, because they lost the game. And then every night, actually every night when it starts to get dark, Bat still comes out and asks the animals if they need help playing the game. And that's why every night, that's when bats come out. That's the end of the story.